Hello everyone and welcome to this training on the Topflight College school culture. So this is one of the very first trainings you will get as you join our school. Whether you join the school as a staff member or a student or even for a leadership position or as a student leader, as a member of our school in whatever capacity that you are, it's very important that you understand our vision so you can share with our school focus and you can make it a part of your daily work. It's so important because through this vision we make our decisions, we make our choices, we understand each other, we work together, we share this vision, and it's important that you have it memorized and part of your spirit and soul. Exactly. So it's so important to us, guys. It's so important to our school culture. It's what makes us unique, it's what makes us refined, it's what makes our school community special. So what is this vision? Well, first of all, what is a vision? Because I realize we may have some really young learners in our midst, and so let's just unpack what a vision is to a school or to an organization. Now, a vision is a statement that captures the thoughts and the ideas that the founders of that organization must have had. So it captures their heart cry, their heart desire. It also captures, what they are pursuing, what they are chasing. And vision is like what they are seeing. Okay, it may not be something that is presently happening because it's a vision. At the time it is spoken, it may not be something that even looks possible at the time that it is shared, but it is something that everyone is going to work towards and achieve. Now, a vision is usually not accomplished by one person alone. It requires a team, it requires many people working together as a system to achieve it. So a vision is just like a clear picture of what that organization ultimately wants to become and what it ultimately wants to achieve. Okay, so it's our long-term aspiration, and so that everyone is inspired by it, and all strategies are designed towards it. So I hope you can understand that. So here at Topflight College, we have a very simple vision. It is to provide high quality education that instills discipline and leadership orientation, supported by sound Christian values and 21st century skills to distinguish students nationally and globally. I'll take that again. Topflight College is to provide high quality education, instill discipline and leadership orientation, supported by sound Christian values and 21st century skills to distinguish our students nationally and globally. Wow, that's a mouthful. And I give you a challenge. At the end of this training, you should take some time to memorize it and write it down and speak it out loud. Topflight College is to provide high quality education. So let's unpack that quickly. High quality education. This qualifies the education as one that is above the regular standards. So there will be a nationally accepted standard or even an internationally accepted standard, but high quality education is expected to meet that standard and surpass it. So that really sets the bar high, doesn't it? Also, is to instill discipline. Now, when we hear the word discipline, we usually tend to feel naturally like, oh, it's a very big, difficult, and, painful process. And truly, there is that aspect of discipline. But broken down or simplified, discipline is essentially doing what you have to do when you have to do it and being happy to do it. So there are two types of discipline. There's the intrinsic discipline and the extrinsic discipline. So intrinsic discipline is the type that comes from inside, where the motivation to do what is right, whether it's easy or not, and it's usually not easy, comes from inside, not from outside. And there's the extrinsic discipline, where the motivation to do what needs to be done in terms of academics, in terms of, behavior and conduct and choices that we make, where the motivation to do the right thing comes from outside. So our school community's vision of instilling discipline is really about taking it to the intrinsic level, where everyone knows what they are meant to do clearly and why it's important, because many people know what they're meant to do at each particular time, but find it difficult to do it because they don't really understand why it's so important. So instilling discipline is part of the vision of the school. And so we want our children and our staff to always be known as people that are very coordinated, very disciplined in their way of appearance and conduct and their choices. So discipline is part of the vision. Next, we have leadership orientation. Leadership orientation has to do with preparing the hearts and minds of every member of our community to take the lead, to make impact, to make a change, a positive change, and to do the hard things that need to be done to take our organization from where we are to where we want to be. So leadership orientation, thinking about how to be a better leader, is something that should be a part of every student of our school and every staff and every parent as well. Now, leadership is a huge concept to unpack. There are different models of leadership, okay? Not every leader is just in the forefront taking charge and, being visible. There's, so many models of leadership which we'll unpack in a different training. However, this just has to do with self-leadership as well as taking ownership of the school community, of the school culture. Leadership helps us to protect our school culture, to know that this is important to us and what we're building. The next part is that it's supported by sound Christian values. Sound Christian values. So if you've been in our school on any given day, you will understand that we actually take this so seriously in our school community. We value spending time with God on a personal basis, and in our teams, in our daily routines, we prioritize faith. Now, of course, we always make a clear distinction that we do not discriminate. We do not value cult-like practices. We have a wide range of families in our school, and so there is no room for discrimination. There's no room for bullying, and no room for making other people feel secluded or like second-class citizens. So we are always establishing that fact. However, we strongly believe that a faith-based lifestyle will help our students and our adults to make conscientious decisions and will lead to a happier and more fulfilled and meaningful life in general. Okay, so we're still unpacking the vision for Topflight College. And we've talked about what we mean by high quality education, what we mean by instilling of discipline. We said discipline is in two folds or two dimensions, the internal discipline and the external discipline. So we also looked at leadership orientation, and we've said that leadership doesn't have to only do with the aspect of being at the forefront, but it also involves doing that which is right, whether you're at the forefront or not. So we're also saying that we want to empower our students and our adults with the skills, the mindset, and the attitudes of a leader, of a good leader, so that they can take that with them into everywhere they go. So that's part of the vision of the school, to build leaders, great leaders. And that's why sometimes when we talk to our students, we tell them, great leaders, how are you today? Or great leader, how are you today? We want them to understand that this is part of their calling. Whether they are shy or they are bold, personality does not disturb the fact that, or should not negate a person from having that leadership mindset. And we also said that we are supported by sound Christian values. We also said we are supported by sound Christian values. So for us, this means that Everything we do has to have the etiquette, the language, the culture that is derived from Christian values. We're open about the fact that we're a faith-based school. However, we always create that fine distinction that we are not a discriminatory school in any way. We have students from a wide range of backgrounds. We have children from the Muslim family background, from, so many different backgrounds as well. And also our staff as well are drawn from society, from a wide pool. However, we let them understand that here our ideal and our system is based on Christian values. Now let's look at the 21st century skills that we mentioned. The concept of having 21st century skills is to ensure that our students and our staff are being trained with future-ready skills. So they're not just relying on the things that have always been. We're preparing them for careers that are not even here yet. We're preparing them with skills, soft skills, like how to communicate, how to, present themselves, how to think strategically. And we're also preparing them with hard skills, how to put together a presentation, how to pitch ideas, how to, use some coding skills and robotic skills, how to approach mathematics from a STEM problem-solving focus. So we're trying to make sure our students are future ready, because with all these innovations of AI and so many things going on, we want to make sure our students are at least aware of ethical and unethical practices that they should avoid, or ethical practices that they should adopt. And all of this is to distinguish our students, to make them seem so different that wherever they go, we can see that calm culture in them, and to make them, at the top, both nationally and globally. So for global relevance, we want to make sure our students are going out there into the world. We're launching them out there and preparing them with the skills to compete with other students from other nationalities, first of all within Nigeria, then throughout Africa, and then the other continents at large. So you can see that this vision is actually very big when we unpack it, but it begins with you, it begins with me, it begins with us willing to learn what our school culture is really all about, and not just leaving it in the theoretical, headspace, but bringing it down to our hearts, bringing it down to every single day, and asking ourselves, what did I do today that really embodied the culture, or what did I experience today that really embodied the culture? And does my experiences in the school align with the culture, or is it different from what is stated in the vision of the school? So that's all for now. I want you to take time and reflect and write your own thoughts about the vision of the school. You can also personalize, create your own personal vision, your own ideas. Just write down what you want to see in your future. Just write it down and make a statement around it. And we want to ensure that this statement is read and recited periodically until it becomes part and parcel of you, our latest member of Topflight College. If you stay to the end of this training, you are amazing and awesome. So we're going to be looking at how our mission helps us to achieve this vision. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next training.